Hello, I hope you are well. Today I'm going back to the resin. It's almost Christmas, so I'm going to make some decorations. I have different molds of snowflakes, stars, and so on. And I will make more later. As you can see, I have a bunch of products on my table, and even then you don't see everything. I'm not going to use everything, but see you in a second. Everything is ready. I have my gloves, my mask. You can't see too much. And I will start with the little Christmas tree. Now, the choice of pigment. So I pour a little of my resin. I prepared it in advance to save time. So I pour on my cup and then I will add my color. So I choose the emerald green pigment paste from Just For You online. I'm putting everything I used in the description box below the video as always. This green is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not a fan of green color, but this color from Just For You online is really great. It's got plenty of shine in it and I really love it. It's important to mix the pigment paste well so you don't get any ugly streaks when you pour. I'm going to add some mixology glitters from Let's Resin in green, of course. I don't know if they will show up in the mix, but hey, I think they are super pretty. I stopped pouring to put my silicone stick at the bottom. Otherwise, there might be an air bubbles in the tip of the tree and it's not pretty since it makes a kind of hole. And then I continue to pour my resin. And after that I check that there are no air bubbles stuck in the tips of the sides. Often the resin doesn't go well in these tips and you end up with the little oops. I work very messy. Well, I'm going to pick up the resin and after that a little bit of cleaning. Okay, clean. A little bit on the top. And now my little tree is ready. I'm going to put the leftover resin in this little snowflake mold. I'll try it with a pipette. It's the first time I do it with this instrument. I saw Steve McDonald do it and it looked pretty easy. Yes, easy for him. Well, no, not at all. At least for me. Oh, yes, it annoys me a little. It's very difficult because the branches are very small. So, Steve does it very well, but me, I find it really difficult. So, my resin is ready and continues to thicken. So let's go directly with the cup. Trying not to put too much, but it must be very well filled. And then I'll take the mold in my hands, trying not to spill anything, and with my stick I go over the top to remove the excess resin. Oh, it's much easier. It takes much less time and patience. Okay, moving on. I will use this red from Resin 8. So always mix well, especially pastes, but even pigments, you should always mix carefully. And here I am pouring my leftover green and the red together. I hope the two colors won't mix too much. I hope that each color will stay in its place. Again, I'll check to make sure there are no air bubbles at the end of my star's branches. And yes, there are. I'll try to delage them with my stick. It's not easy, but I'll get there. So I'm going to add in my leftover red Galaxy Chameleon pigment. I found it on Amazon and now I don't know the exact brand. I don't know what it will do, if the effect will be nice or not. And of course I mix it well. And I pour into this star or flake mold. The chameleon just darkened my color, not really any highlights, and tracked down the air bubbles at the end of the branches. So let's move on to another mold. I'm going to take some gold chameleon powder and carefully mix it with my resin. I like these gold pigments. The resulting color is gorgeous. With gold you can never go wrong. And I pour in this mold, which is like a big snowflake. And we start to search for the air bubbles again. This real headache, but essential if you want to get a clean piece. I will also use these two molds of bubbles to hang in the tree. Before that I pass my lighter over the resin for the bubbles that have popped to the surface. With this tool you don't risk burning your silicone molds, unlike the torch. And I pour my leftover resins into this round mold, green, red and gold. I know that I won't have enough to fill completely, but once this layer cures, I will put a layer of black resin, I think, to fill out my mold. And now for my large flake mold, what color will I use? I'm going to put a tiny bit, really tiny bit, as you can see, of Supreme White from Just For You Online. I have just a little touch on my stick. It's extremely pigmented paste, and since I want to get a little bit of a cloudy effect, I'm using very few. My camera stopped. No more battery. Well, let's start again. I have my white that doesn't have that cloudy effect that I want, but no problem. And I'm going to add these little bluish chunks. Even with very little, the white is a little too opaque for my taste, but it's so pigmented, so no problem. I add these kind of blue glitters, and let's pour another mold with spikes. So come on, I do my bubble tracking. And I pour the rest in my star. Here, no spikes, no branches, It's very simple, very easy. So it's faster. I like this mold. Now, after that, we let it dry and keep my fingers crossed that there are no air bubbles stuck somewhere. I will come back to see regularly and see you in a second. Well, unmolding time. I don't think these molds are very easy to unmold. This is the first time I have used them. It's very imbricated. You have to pull, to push. Let's see. I have to get some air in. Fortunately, or not, I don't know. It's still a bit flexible. It's a bit like when you have too tight gloves. Once you've managed to remove 2 or 3 branches, it's much better. Well, I find the effect is very nice. I like the shape. And you can even see my glitters that I added in the green. I like it in red and green like this. I'm happy with the result. Now this one, not easy at all either. I hope I won't have too many bubbles. Oh well, I'll speed up and cut the video. These molds are really, really nice, but not easy to unmold. Well, but I'll get there. I'll get there. In fact, as soon as you let a little air in and you manage to free 2 or 3 branches, you can unmold it. And yes, that's it. I really like the color. I might have to add a little resin on the back. I don't know. I'll see later. Anyway, I like the color. It looks very festive. And so you can see I put them back flat so that they are done properly. My little snowflakes, very nice too. Not easy to feel, but for the unmolding it's very, very easy. You just have to be careful with the branches, which are very fragile when they come out of the mold. In any case, the effect is very nice with the rubber glitters in the black, sorry. So now this one, they mold very well, no problem. I like the effect with the little blue flakes. Yes, I like it. So this one, come on, some effort. It's not easy, but you can do it with a little patience. Yes, yes, yes. That's it. It's really a sport, these molds. But very, very nice too. I like it a lot. It makes a very nice snowflakes. Hard to unmold, but it's really great. Tell me in the comment which one you like best. Yes, I like this one very, very much. So my little Christmas tree. The molds that have a lot of details like this are more complicated. However, I wonder if pulling, twisting, etc. like this, the molds will resist for a long time. I'm not sure. No, because yes, pulling, twisting with silicone mold. Well, I don't have any bubbles. Yay! At the top or nowhere else. That's great. I like this little Christmas tree. I really like this mold. And then the one that really caused me a lot of trouble. Uh, this one, oh yes, I had to go back a few times to get rid of the air bubbles in the branches on the edges. I would remove them, and a few minutes later there would be more. And then, of course, my resin would start to cure, but bubbles kept coming back. After a while, I couldn't do anything else, or I would have had marks. So I don't know what it's going to do, because I think there must be some left. However, it's demolds much better than the others. Yes, it's an advantage. um, yes, I have air bubbles here and there. These bubbles were really nightmare with this mold. So that's it for this first Christmas decoration, but I have more to show you in a few seconds. Stay tuned. um, yes, I am not happy with the color. I got a few slightly iridescent effects, but nothing great. No. This Chameleon pigment in my red is not a good experience. So, the next step, I had completed my two Christmas ornaments that I filled with my leftover resin. I added some black resin with rubber glitters. I had some resin left over, so I filled these little flake molds. It's so pretty. I really like these little molds. It's very thin, very, very pretty, but they are very, very fragile when you unmold them. You have to be very careful. You really have to be very careful. The branches are fragile when you take them out, but the result is too pretty. The shapes are very nice, and the reflections are too beautiful. This black with the rubber glitters give a very, very nice effect. And by filling them directly from my cup and passing my stick to remove the excess of resin, it works very well. And I love the result. Very happy. And I didn't break any branches. It's perfect. So, now let's go to the bubbles. This one is very simple, just gold and black. And I think it's very nice. It looks festive too. I like this. This one is a little more original, if I may say so. It's nice too. I am not too happy with this red mixed with the Galaxy Chameleon, but the result is still pretty nice. And then black behind to make it stand out. So that's it for these first Christmas decorations. I have a nice little assortment. We'll get together soon because I'll probably make some more. I will also be doing some jasmonite, and that will be the subject of future videos. Don't forget the little thumbs up, a little like, a little comment. So, thanks for following me, and take care of yourself. Bye!